Alright, let's look at the curriculum, shall we? First of all, we have 6 quick introductory courses. The first 2 just speak about what the Odin Project is and what web development is like. Then you have some guidelines for asking questions. They prompt you to join the Discord community, which I suggest you do. You can Control F basic questions and they will already be answered. You have this how does the web work? Long lesson, but if you're curious, it's worth it. It speaks of the internet and the DNS. It's not necessary. You can skip it if you want. Let's go to installations. If you have Windows, you're gonna have to either dual boot your computer or have a virtual machine. I recommend having a virtual machine. In fact, I'm running one right now, as you can see. It's just like a regular computer. You download it, you follow the instructions. Pretty easy. Let's do this. Then after you have your virtual machine, they're gonna have you download a text editor. In my case, Visual Studio Code, which is what they recommend. It looks like this. This is where you write your code. You have different languages. It's pretty easy. You can add extensions to it. That's why my text is a different color. Just simple stuff, just downloading things. Then comes the command line basics. Here is where it's gonna be tedious and maybe a little bit too long. You will go over a long PDF with every single keyboard shortcut for the command line. And if you are curious what the command line is, let me show it to you. Here's the terminal. This is the command line, as you would say. You can do stuff here, touch folder, and you'll make a folder somewhere. You can cd into directories, and you'll learn all these little hacks, I guess. Do learn this, okay? It will make your life easier in the future. Then you go about setting up Git. Git is the version control. It's inside of the computer. Do learn that and just follow the instructions. And this 2 lessons is where you're gonna want to pin some of these things to your taskbar. Introduction to Git is pretty easy. You make a GitHub and some basic Git commands. You're gonna learn how to commit something, how to add something, how to see the status of your files. But the real thing goes in Git basics. Here you learn about the Git Workflow, if you can see here, and you're gonna be using it for lessons, okay? Lessons for projects. You're gonna be using it all the time. So if you want to give this a star, it will make it easier next time you're doing a project, okay? Do pay attention to this. It's how you push stuff to GitHub. It's how you clone stuff from GitHub, and you're gonna be doing that all the time. Following up, HTML. What does HTML look like? Here we have it. Typical HTML. Ahead. Basically, it's the main language. It's a markup language, and it's what you use to tell, hey, I want to have a title. I want to have a div, which is basically a box. Just simple stuff, really easy. And then you end up with the project, right? This is where I would pay most of my attention. Is where you learn the most. Let's see mine. Oh, not here. It's here. Odin recipes, simple stuff. You got omelette, crisp salmon, and beef brain. You can click between the links and go back to the start. Pretty easy, okay? Let's go back to the curriculum. CSS, okay. A lot of people skip this. I wouldn't. Pay attention to this because it's the only time they're going to teach it to you, okay? Simple stuff. CSS foundation is simple. Inspecting HTML and CSS, okay. Do pay attention to this. Some of the classes are a little too long, especially the debugging. I wouldn't pay much attention to that. But the inspecting, and 2 things. You being able to go around with the inspect element, it's not loading. All right, and see what something is, and mind. Let's expand this to see a little bit better, shall we? See what something is. You can see the computer layout. It's not working. Anyways, you can see what class they have, what CSS styles they have on them, and it's really helpful when you're building a project. and when you want to copy something that you found useful. Okay, let's close this. Do pay attention to the box model. Like you might have seen before, everything is basically a box. So you're gonna be designing, you're gonna be writing out on paper boxes and putting them names. Do pay attention to that. Then you have the flexbox. This, pay attention. Flexbox makes things that easier. You can make everything a flexbox. Okay, well, not everything, but do pay attention. It's hard. It's not a simple thing. So pay attention. Now let's move a little bit to the side. You might be wondering some general things. How much did it take to do this course? The answer is 92.5 hours, I think. Let's see that. I have the sum here. Yeah, 92.5. So I don't know how much days. If you put 92.5, you should be about done. I was really inefficient, so you can do it quicker than that. Now let's keep going. We were here, project landing page. This is one you're gonna want to pay attention. It's the only time you're gonna be focusing completely on CSS, so do pay attention. I'm gonna show you what it's like. Here's mine. Please don't mind the weird crypto stuff. It's just a basic site with, you know, the prompt to action and the quote from someone. Just basic stuff, you know, and you can you know, link stuff and, you know, put links and whatnot. So whatever. Do pay attention to this project. Now let's go to JavaScript. First real language. This is a coding language, a programming language. The previous two were just markup and styling languages. These you're gonna want to pay attention to if you have never done anything computer related or coding related. It's just basic if-else conditionals, basics and or, switch case, for loops, while loops, the basic stuff you have heard and learned time and time again. That's the first 4 lessons. Then you have the problem solving and understanding errors. Pay attention to the part where it says pseudocode. It's actually kind of smart. You just write things out in paper and it helps you out. It saves you a lot of time. So now we get to the more heavy projects. These ones are harder. We have rock, paper, scissors. And the thing about this one is they prompt you to do a JavaScript code, just a pure JavaScript one. And then you just leave it at that. You start learning some more things. And then they tell you to revisit the project. So what I would suggest here is just focus on the logic. When they prompt you to do this project, focus on the logic. Try to do it 2 different ways, with a switch and with an if-else conditional. And later on, put all the effort into making it good looking, okay? Don't put the effort right now on lesson number 7. Put it on lesson number 12. Clean code. Just is general advice. Installing Node.js is just installing Node.js. Fundamentals part 4 and DOM manipulation and events. Do pay attention here, especially to number 11. This lesson basically tells you, hey, how do I speak to HTML? With JavaScript, how do I tell all these little stuff? You know, let's look at it. Not working. Alright, I want to make the background of this whole thing blue. How do I tell it that? I want to make it blue when I click it. That is DOM manipulation, and it's going to be really useful. It's what gives, you know, clicking a button meaning. Alright? In my opinion, the Odin Project was a little bit light on this. I had to Google a lot of stuff. So, do pay attention. Now, not this one. Let's go back. Alright. You're gonna start doing project Etch-a-Sketch, and this is a power gap. It's a hard project. It's real hard, and honestly, they tell you not to cheat or to look at other people's code. I'm gonna recommend you quite the contrary. I think it was a good thing to look at other people's code. So one thing you're gonna learn about the Odin project is you have all these little all the people can upload their stuff and you can view it. So let's view this, guys. Just simple, it works. And what I did is I looked at people's projects that I liked aesthetically, but most importantly that I like how concise their code was. Alright, let's look at this guy, for example. I don't know how concise it is. Script.js. This is the one you're gonna want to watch. 103 lines and 87 SLOC. This is really good for this project. He's efficient. So you wanna, if you wanna copy, if you wanna learn the basics, be a copy from efficient people. What I started doing about this time in my Odin experience is I started doing a mock-up repository and basically doing the project, just sort of like copying stuff from the guys I liked. This Michael, he's really efficient. So I started copying stuff from him, copying stuff from R.L. Moser, and you can, it's not necessary that the top listed are the most efficient. They're not. Usually they're not. But you can copy efficient code and learn how to code well. And then just erase it all and start again all by yourself. That's what I would recommend, the best way to learn. Because there's really a power gap between this and the other projects. And you're going to find some stuff that you didn't even know existed or might have not caught on the lessons, or maybe the lessons didn't even have. Like, you know, data sets and some stuff about JavaScript you don't know, and you can learn by reading other people's code. Okay, so be mindful. Of course, at the end of the day, you want to learn yourself. So copy in moderation to learn. All right. Moving on. Then you have this small fundamentals. I don't quite remember what it's about. I think it's about objects. But the thing is, don't rush it. Do it with time. And you have the final project calculator. This one is hard. It's hard in the logic, and it's not hard in the DOM manipulation. It's actually much easier than the other one. So let's see my project. Oh, that's the rock paper scissors I never showed you guys. Yeah, you can play. How beautiful. And I'm gonna show you the CSS, the Etch a Sketch. As you can see, you can play with it. Let's maximize it. You can, you know, do rainbow color. You can clear. You can make the thing bigger. So it's just a fun little project, but a hard one. And finally, as I was going to show you, the calculator. It works fine. You can add things. And actually, this one was hard, not on the coding, but on all the little things you don't know that calculators do by themselves. For example, pushing up numbers up there is not that easy. Them remembering what the previous number was is not that easy. You know, clearing, deleting and not deleting all. It's sort of hard. And for example, not putting 2 zeros in a row is another thing. You know, like I shouldn't be able to do this, and I'm not, right? Oh, there's a glitch. All right. I messed up. Some glitch here. Anyways, you're gonna learn, and that's it. You have the backend introduction, which is just an introduction. They just say how it works. You know, they speak. The server speaks to the computer. Basic stuff. Don't put too much effort into it. So let's go more meta, shall we? You're gonna be prompted at the end to choose between Node.js and Ruby on Rails. Right now I'm doing Node.js, so expect more videos on that path. I don't know anything about Ruby on Rails. I just know it's on a downtrend. Well, let's go more meta, shall we? I think this is a good course. You should do it. It's so project based. I know I already talked about this, but you're gonna spend most of your time on the projects, and do make them look good, and do look at other people's project, do look at other people's code. It will help you out. And some other tips I want to give you is keyboard shortcuts, really helpful. Let me maximize this. Just try to incorporate them as much as you can. You don't have to learn them all, but it will make writing code more efficient. And another thing I want to show you is whenever you download VS Code, you're just gonna be writing on plain VS Code. And what I suggest is, I don't know what it is, extensions. Oh, here we go. Download this. I'm gonna scroll here. I'm gonna show you which ones I have. Download all of them, especially live server. And yeah, that's about it. Good luck.